And now, live from the halls of Rosen Manor, it's the Allison Rosen is your new best friend show. Tonight, Allison welcomes her frightful, disembodied guests. He was a clown who liked to kill on stage until one night when he was the one killed by the stage, who had a knife which it held in its curtains, which are like hands to a sentient stage. It's David Huntsberger. And she was a writer and producer who became so magnetized by vaccinations that she was ripped apart when she stepped into a refrigerator store. It's Wendy Molyneux. Tone Zone is here and already putting up his fucking Christmas decorations. I'm her woeful husband Daniel saying lie inside the love hearse and say hello to your last best friend, Allison Rosen.
Hello, my little extra wide egg noodles. Welcome to another exciting special Halloween episode of Allison Rosen is your new best friend. That particular carbohydrate was sent in on Patreon.
Patreon
by Alyssa Dumeyer. Yes, I am on Patreon. Bonus episodes of The Friend Zone. There's a level where you can text me and I'll text you back. Zoom parties, a feature called The Backstory where I go into all the behind the scenes details of Monday show guests. You can see this video, the Thursday show videos, and more. And if you sign up for a year, so an annual subscription, you get 2 months free, 12 months for the price of 10. Okay, very excited to say hello and welcome to my guest, Wendy Molyneux. Hello.
Hi.
Dave Huntsberger. Hello.
Hello.
I felt almost like you were getting booed for a second.
Well, night is young.
Tony Thaxton, hello.
Hello.
Is this the earliest I have ever brought you into the show?
I gotta say, yeah, I think so.
So listen, everyone, I'm a little off my game because I am a creature of habit, and there's a particular type of notebook that I take my notes in, and I'm at the last page, and I went to the closet to find another notebook, and it wasn't there. So I had to dip into my other notebooks. And this one is different, and I'm going to hold it up. Again, Patreon, you can see this. It says,
Patreon.
This is just a fun, journal that says, hold on, let me overthink this.
Ooh.
But it doesn't have a spiral situation, so I have to fold it back. But anyway, I bring it up because a couple years ago, a very nice person sent me this notebook, and they sent gifts for, everyone on the show. None of you. But everyone else. And I never found out who sent them. And I asked a couple people, based on the handwriting, I'm like, oh, I think this is so-and-so. I think this is so-and-so. I never found out. If you're listening and you sent this, thank you. Announce yourself so I can properly thank you. Okay.
What if it was me?
Was it?
No.
I mean, I don't know for sure that it wasn't. Because like I said, none of you received gifts. So that means it could have been you.
It wasn't.
Dave, was it you?
I mean, no, it was not.
God damn it, Tony. Was it you?
I have taken notebooks from your house, but I've never given you one.
Have you really?
Yeah, several.
Have you taken my special steno notebooks that I use for my show notes?
We'll see.
Okay, first of all, why is it because it's a Halloween show that everyone's being very cagey and not very talkative but expressive? I mean, the Patreon video is going to be amazing, but the recording, I feel like there's been 3.5 words so far, and they've all been mine. I'm not trying to chastise anyone, but I just feel like generally the vibe I'm getting is I knew from every single person.
That might be the case. I don't know.
I don't know. Wendy.
Yes. Hi.
Hi. I ran into Lizzie and Matt at Descanso Gardens.
They told me that you did. I had gone over that same night to hold my new niece.
I know.
I was there last night.
You're
At
stealing my...
Descanso?
Yeah.
I thought
Very
you meant...
hardcore. At Lizzie and Matt.
Yeah.
Yeah. He just went over to see my sister. They've never met, but he's just the
feeling we'd hit
perfect
it
time
off.
to pop in on people is when they just had a baby and they don't know you. People love that.
She should check her notebook stash now that we know that Tony is all about not wearing robes and stealing notebooks. Yes, you posted a picture with your new niece, and I was like, oh, I saw her parents today. Small world. And then we did that thing where we said hi, and then we said bye, and then we both continued on basically the same course. I'm trying to explain. So Descanso Gardens, like, I'm trying to explain it because not everyone knows it. It's this beautiful botanical gardens that's decorated for Halloween, but there's basically everyone kind of goes on the same path. There's a couple different options, but said hi to them, said bye to them, but then basically enjoyed the rest of Descanso Gardens alongside them for the rest of the way. I enjoyed it. I hope they did too. I hope it was
They said they
positive.
very much enjoyed running into you.
Okay, good. Did they say that we then continued to say hi, to run into each other multiple times after that?
They did not say that. But then again, they they're in like a daze. They have a new baby. They're just like, surviving.
I'm impressed they're even out of their house.
I know. I was impressed that they had gone somewhere that day.
So Matt Loughlin, who's been on the podcast, wrote a book called 2 Kisses for Maddie that was adapted into that very popular Netflix movie, Fatherhood, with Kevin Hart. And Daniel, I wish Daniel was here so that he could defend his position. We don't have childcare today, so he's watching the kids, so he's not here right now. But he was convinced the book was called 2 Kisses for Maddie.
Yes.
Because Matt has a daughter named Maddie. Daniel was convinced it was called 2 Kisses for Daddy.
Quants.
Like he makes the child give him 2 kisses. That would be so strange.
I know.
That would be so weird.
And I said, no, 2 kisses for Maddie. He said, are you sure?
Yes, because like one from Matt and one from her mother that passed away.
Right.
2 kisses.
But he really thought it was called 2 Kisses for Daddy. And I'm like, how?
Me 2 kisses.
What the fuck?
I mean, I suppose it could be like
weird.
One from the daughter and one from the wife that passed away.
Right, but that'd be weird. You give me a kiss.
Right.
That
I'm
doesn't
grieving.
work. It doesn't work.
And also 2 kisses for
It is
Daddy.
not called that.
Right. And if one of the kisses was from the wife, then that's weird that he's saying like, and give Daddy a kiss. That's one of those, like, in front of the kids, I do call Daniel Daddy, but it's still always a little bit weird for me to call my spouse Daddy. Gross. That's exactly right. So anyway, I'm glad we're all on the same page. It's definitely not called 2
Daniel
kisses
is wrong and bad. That's the page we're on. I'm calling him out. It's my favorite kind of call out.
See, Daniel?
Not here to defend themselves.
I love it too. It's just like our text chain that he would love to bitch
He was
about.
on that text chain.
So much good stuff on that text chain. But then I wondered, maybe because of the movie Fatherhood, like maybe that explains his confusion about it. I don't know. And then
Do you think Daniel is secretly working on a book called 2 Kisses for Daddy?
But is it? And are they from Elliot and Owen?
I don't know.
It would make
man.
some sense, at least.
I'm worried.
Yeah, it's not a great phrase to really try to hammer into any equation. Gotta get this one off the ground. Around our house, we're always saying 2 kisses for Daddy.
I had John Moe on my show, and I didn't realize. He said that'll come out November 1st. I didn't realize that you and he have a rich history, and that you
have a rich history.
Sketches for Wits, his radio, one of his many shows.
Yeah, Jeff and I, my husband and I, both wrote for Wits for a long time.
That's so cool. I did a call for questions on Twitter, and on Patreon. And you said to ask him what his favorite thing about you was. And I figured you probably knew each other at that point, but I was like, that's really a question you could ask of anyone.
Yeah, just doing a bit. It could be just doing a bit.
Yeah. So.
Also was still doing a bit. I don't actually want to know what people's favorite thing about me is.
I would love to know.
Well, do you want me to say my favorite thing about you now?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Decades of friendship. I think you're a good friend. Decades of friendship. You also have beautiful hair.
Oh my God.
To be
thank
shallow.
you.
Gorgeous.
Thank you. I am not going to go around and make everyone say their favorite thing about me. If they want to offer it, I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to be. By the way, I feel like in culture, there is a value placed on someone who doesn't know how to take a compliment. And I can't even wrap my head around that. I take compliments so well. I don't know. Is this taking it well? Taking one and being like, if everyone else would like to give me one, I'm open to it. Yeah.
To get one and then say,
that's not taking it well. That's like taking a lot. That's different.
That means I'm so good at taking a compliment, I will even accept more. I think that's someone excelling at compliment receipt.
Shit. Really? That's so nice.
That is also a good way to take a compliment. I think the idea of like, I don't know how to take a compliment, I don't think it means the person is like, gimme more. Compliment greed. That's what I have. I like
how candid you are. That's my thing.
Thank you. See,
You're
and I didn't.
welcome.
I thought you liked my card shuffling.
That's down the list. I mean, it's on there, but it's down the list.
I will log off.
I was shopping for a Halloween costume. And can I just say, I'm not really a Halloween fan, despite my very spooky music. And trying to figure out what to dress up as when I was younger and then a young adult, which I still am, so it's weird that I'm talking about it like it's the past, was always like sort of a stress. And I just thought eventually I'll get to the point where I can just wear like a hat or not even a hat, just a hint of something or not even a hint of something and just hand out candy and be done with it. So why is it that I never got a break from Halloween? Like I'm still having to get a Halloween costume because I live with a family that is obsessed with Halloween. So anyway, shopping for a costume. I ended up buying like 4 different costumes, all of which are various witchy costumes. But I ran across some shoes that they're like loafers, and in the front, they have a splayed deck of cards. And I thought of you guys. I didn't get that
so much. Just the thought of those shoes makes me feel ill.
I'm surprised by that. I thought you'd really spark to those shoes. That seems like a really Wendy kind of item.
Well, you know how I love Allison's card shuffling talk.
You really do.
I love it so much.
I need to recap quickly for anyone who just arrived.
Do we need to recap, or should we just let the river of time take it away?
No, we can't. Excuse me.
Not everyone needs to know everything.
The sands of time shall not sand the edges off of my fancy card shuffling. Look, I feel like when everyone's making references to something, it's frustrating. And I just want to take that person's hand and I want to allow them to give me a compliment. And that compliment is I love how she always explains everything. Anyway, we got into a conversation of, was it which would be most annoying or like which would be weirdest? You go to someone's house,
Oh, right. It was fancy bartending, like cocktail.
Yeah, bar flair.
Like Tom Cruise. Is that flair? I don't know.
I think it is.
That or somebody who's just doing shuffling tricks with cards. And I'm like, it's so much
fancy
better
shuffling.
If someone was doing good bartending.
Wasn't there
tricks.
A third?
I would love that.
Wasn't there a third thing?
I hope not.
Close-up magic?
No.
Oh, yeah. No.
I
think it was
so.
just the card stuff.
Oh, really?
Juggling and then that folded into the
I think it was juggling.
Flair bartending.
Because my dream is to know my fantasy is to know how to do fancy card shuffling. So I can just like someone whips out a deck and I'm like, and then How cool is that? And Wendy hates.
Whereas I feel like even talking about it, I feel like I'm trapped in hell.
Okay, Wendy, you got married in Las Vegas.
I know.
So many decks of cards.
But you use the cards for playing games, Allison. It's not just your friend trapping you in their house and making you watch them do card shuffling because they've gone absolutely around the bend. It's so different. It's not even in the same category.
So you're not triggered at all being in a casino with like 1 million cards.
Triggered? What do you mean triggered?
In the way that you're
talking about?
Clearly,
you're sipping on a drink and it's a very long straw. So you're holding it at like your waist. The straw is making it all the way up to your mouth, and you're just walking along, but then you keep hearing, and then you just snap and remove the straw and start screaming at everyone. Can you just stop? Everyone, can you just cut it out with the
No one
cards?
in Las Vegas does fancy shuffling. They shuffle the exact amount required for the cards to play the game at which you can win the money.
They just press a button on a machine, which is what they would be screaming at you. But you've already lost your cool at this point, and you're just yelling.
I think they shuffle fine in Vegas. It's Allison shuffling specifically that triggers me.
All right, fine.
Because she's not doing it for a reason. We don't then play cards. She just wants us to watch her and give her compliments on her shuffling. Again,
sorry to get back into this card.
I literally am going to log off. I had no idea today.
Wait a second, though.
Assault on my person.
I hate that this happened because now I have a genuine question.
So mad.
I'm so sorry. And I hate that it's making Allison so happy.
I'm not
and
sorry.
I hate that it's making you so upset.
I am sorry about that.
If we all got together and we were playing, like regular poker, and it was my turn to deal, and I did thumbs, then I did a bridge, and then
I'm getting turned on by these sounds.
But then I do that twice. And you're like, okay, they're shuffled. But then I do one other thing. Where would the line be for you? Where would it be like?
Fine. We're playing cards. What Allison is suggesting is my nightmare. We're just
It's like the guy at the party with a guitar.
Wait a second. So if there's an actual card game,
yes,
it's
shuffle away.
anything goes. You can fan them out.
Can I wear the shoes to the card game?
Yes, you can't take 1 million years to shuffle the cards because we need to play.
Right.
No one would like taking 1 million years, but if on your shuffle you want to do a couple moves, that's fine. We're playing cards. This is normal. What's not normal is to go to your friend's house expecting like a nice dinner or to sit and have coffee and talk some stuff, and all of a sudden they've got cards out doing some kind of fancy shuffling that has no point, and you are trapped and you don't know whether to call 911 because something has happened to your friend. That's
okay.
What would that call sound like? Like, what would you even say?
I'd say, hello, I'm at my friend's house. I think they might be having some
Okay, ma'am, slow down. We need to know, what's the address? Where are you?
I am at my friend's house and she won't stop shuffling cards.
Okay, and is she breathing?
Yes.
And is there
heavily? She's breathing very heavily with excitement, almost like a sexual excitement. It's almost sexual, if that paints a picture.
If I can refer you back to the little message that plays before you got on with me, the operator, it says, if this is not an emergency, please hang up and call someone else, basically.
I know, but
you
I don't
carried
know
through.
who to call. I don't know.
Okay. So your friend's breathing fine. There's no blood, and she's just
There's
little
no
bit.
blood. I honestly wish there was. I wish she would hurt herself on the cards, and that would make her stop. If that makes sense.
Such animosity toward this card shuffling.
I know. She knows she never should have brought it up. She never should have said it. I should call 911 on this podcast. Say that I'm trapped in a podcast and I can't log off because that would be rude, but I also can't stay.
So, okay. I'm going to recover from that assault on my love of fancy shuffling, and let's get back to this idea that I think it's demure and ladylike to not accept a compliment. Would you agree? Do you? And what does not accepting a compliment? I think what it means. Someone give me a compliment, please. It's my favorite.
Oh no!
It's a trick.
I really like how you've done your background there. It fits your style. It looks very professional. It's great.
Oh, No, it's not. Is that what not accepting a compliment is?
I don't think I've ever heard of someone's like not accept. I've heard people say they're not good at accepting.
But what does that
compliments,
mean?
But I think basically like what you just did. I think that's how I take it, anyways.
I think it smells so good in here. I'm so excited to eat it. It's nothing. I looked it up online. I think that's a common, like, I didn't do anything. I just read instructions and assembled this. Please. I didn't do anything here. Mm-hmm. I think that's very common, which, yeah, I don't get where that comes from, but it does seem to be very common.
I feel like it's actually more annoying than my graceful welcoming of compliments, because I feel like when you do that, when you talk it down, you're like, can we go another round and have the person like dig in and pay me another level of compliment?
Well, in stand-up, you have to learn very early to just say thank you and walk away, because so many people want to just talk about what they just did. Hey, good set. Thanks. I got to the second joke and I was thinking this, but then like, I don't give a shit. Just move on. I was just being nice. And that's a really hard thing because you're so in your head. And then like, if I walked in your house and it smelled really good and maybe you're taking something out of the oven and I look at it and say, oh my God, that looks amazing and it smells great. What would you say? How would you respond to that?
Oh, thank you. Oh, God. Okay, I'm sorry. Do it again.
Oh,
okay. So I have
amazing.
a giant roast or something.
Yeah, you've taken this thing, it's all steamy and it smells great, and you're walking it over and like setting it on a table, and we all come in and go, oh my God, that looks so good. This smells incredible. I can't wait to try that.
Oh, good. I'm so glad. Yeah, but then I would probably say something like, I hope it turned out well. So I would just say something a little bit like, I would downplay it.
I like to jump in with them. I know. I'm so excited. And then like we're all on the same team where like it's not really about this thing I made. It's that we're all getting to do this together. And then because really I did just probably read instructions. I didn't invent this thing.
Right.
But I think that's always my move. If I don't know, I'd have to be in that situation, I suppose.
Now I'm going to take what you just said. I'm going to go, thanks. I invented it. Like it's clearly like a turkey. And somebody says that.
Thank you.
Say, thank you. I invented Set the night off on a good tone, I think, for me to just be absolutely bonkers right away.
What about if someone give like the compliment is like almost too aggressive, where it's like I was to say, this episode we're recording right now, Allison, is the greatest episode of any sort of entertainment that has ever been recorded.
Oh, thank you.
She just take it. She's gonna take it.
See? Asked and answered.
She would forever. I think I've said this on the podcast before where I'm severely the opposite, but it's not like I'm not trying to be annoying. It's just I don't really like believe that. Like I think I've said this when I was pushing out my first baby. They said I was doing a really good job of pushing, and I literally thought they were just saying that. And it's like, why would they just say that?
Right.
Like they wouldn't. It turned out I was doing a good job and only took me about 15 minutes to push the baby out. I was very good. And then the second time it only took me 12 minutes. I beat my record. It turns out I'm good at physically pushing babies out of my body, but I really truly was like, they're just saying that. So there's something in my brain that thinks that people are saying something for some other reason, and it is not they are not actually complimenting me. There is some sort of agenda. I don't suspect them of being bad or anything. I suspect them of that I am not doing the thing well and I'm not good at it. And so they are just saying that to make me feel better or for some other outside reason that I don't have access to.
Does this carry over to your work stuff and like jokes and things you've written?
No, I think I'm like, I will say I don't like enjoy, I wouldn't want to put myself in a position of being like getting complimented doesn't make me feel comfortable or good, really. I don't know why. It just doesn't. And so like, it's not, I don't think I'm trying to be annoying, being like, no, it's not or something. However, I like from a professional point of view, if I feel like I've done a good job on something, I'm not looking for compliments, but I'm not looking for the opposite of like some dipshit who thinks they know what they're talking about, like telling me like things about it that are wrong or whatever. I'm like, okay. Like, I'm sorry, I've been doing it for 13 years or whatever. Like, there are valid notes that you get that you're like, yes, I want these notes. Very valid. Most executives give pretty decent notes, all that stuff. But every once in a while, you're kind of like, okay, like, okay, thanks. Like, where it doesn't even make any sense or something. So like, I think I'm more like allergic to the reverse of just like somebody who like truly doesn't know what they're talking about than like being like, this isn't good or whatever. Like I'm okay with hearing something isn't good and like the reasons to fix it or something. But like, I don't know. None of that, what I just said made any sense.
I thought it did.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd say not looking for compliments, but just like reasonable discussion about things.
There's a definite hierarchy as to the ones that, and it's probably personal to everyone, you know, what the pyramid structure would look like. But when someone really likes something, but maybe they mention something in reference to it that you hate. Oh, that was so great. I love this. And that reminded me of that. And you're like, duh, I hate that thing. So that's a shitty compliment. But if they're like, if they zero in on something, for me, that's my favorite. Like if Tony, if you're playing and someone goes, that thing you did in the bridge right here where you did this little thing, whatever their story is, where they heard something that you're like, yeah, that took me a while to figure out. To me, those are the best. Like those little things that someone noticed.
Yeah, that, or if it's like somebody you really look up to or admire.
Yeah.
If like a compliment comes from them, obviously that always means a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the number of times I would like, sometimes you get off stage, you're walking by someone in a dark kind of green roomy area and they're on their phone. But there have been a few times, I remember one in particular that I remember where the person just didn't even really look up and they just went, good set. And I remember thinking like, that was the best. They may have said that to just anyone walking off the stage. That's just their thing. But to me, I was like, it was like some old wizard taking off a hood and not bad. And that's fine.
Was it a person whose approval you wanted?
Yeah,
it
was a comedian that, like that. For me, that was, early on in comedy, like the best thing where you're going to be on a show and then maybe someone shows up that you didn't expect to be there, that you've seen a lot of their work.
Right.
And then they're backstage and, they give you that kind of glancing up from their phone, good set or whatever. That is, for someone starting out at something, I just felt like that was the best type of compliment.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of compliments.
Roseanne.
I know. What famous comedian do we know who's always on his or her or their phone? All of them.
Roseanne.
She's glued to her phone. So Dave, Daniel watched Big Nothingness. I have not had a chance to see it yet. So this compliment is going to be vague, which you just said is your favorite kind of compliment. But he said it was great. And I heard him laughing a lot. And I said, what are you watching? And he said,
oh, cool.
Big Nothingness. So I can't wait to see it.
Thanks. Yeah, I hope people watch it. The pandemic had its own set of circumstances, but to work really hard on something and then put it out and it just like disappeared into the abyss is a weird feeling. And so I really appreciate when people do watch it, and particularly if they like it. Especially like everyone was going on about a stand-up thing that was on Netflix that was very poorly thought out, is how I would describe it. And to hear everyone just like going nuts about something negatively. And I would just want to be like, there's a thing I made. You could turn some attention toward that. I put a lot of thought into it. Very frustrating. So
where do we watch it, Dave? Because I haven't watched it yet.
I have links to it on my website. YouTube though. Yeah, but I'll send you guys a link, because on YouTube you have to see ads and there's like a little logo in the corner. And not that that's fine. I hope people do go watch it, but there's it's weird to have those things involved in it. It does it bums me out a little bit. So, but I'll send you guys a Vimeo link if you would like.
Whose logo is it? What logo is it?
800-Pound Gorilla, who's fantastic. They're really great to work with. I love everyone there. It's just from like the visual side though. It's nothing personal toward them,
I want to watch it on YouTube because then it's like a view,
Yeah, true.
Doesn't that matter? True. That matters.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's like the...
I can handle an ad.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
And this is going to now sound like a terrible compliment, but I started to watch it. And the only reason I did not finish it is because I made that terrible move of I put it on way too late And it was just
yeah.
I shouldn't have even tried to start it when I did.
Yeah.
Right.
So I need to finish it, and I'm going to finish it. And I really enjoyed what I saw.
Hey, no pressure. Thanks for starting it, at least. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Is 800 pounds, and I don't want to body shame, but is 800 pounds a lot or not a lot for a gorilla? Because it feels like not a lot for a gorilla.
I think, it would be the for humans, there's no like standard weight, but maybe if you had like a mastiff, say every mastiff is right around 100 pounds, it feels the same as saying like 100-pound mastiff. Oh, everyone's talking about this 100-pound mastiff. That's what it feels like with gorilla. I would guess that's a very common weight for gorillas, but I guess I don't know.
Their adults and females have a pretty big difference.
Oh.
Adults and females?
of their weight between gorillas.
Males and females.
Oh, sorry. Yes, I was looking at the word adult males, and then I only said adult. Sorry.
I see.
You know, like there's adults and then there's females. You know what I mean?
This feels like a fun. This feels like a fun guessing game. If we had
kisses for daddy.
Okay, so what you're saying is there's quite a difference between adult male gorillas and adult female gorillas.
Correct.
And I and all of us are going to guess. And if anyone gets it right on the nose, either of them, Wendy will send you a gift. Does that sound good, Wendy?
Okay. Yes, I will send
Pastrami.
someone a gift if they guess correctly.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
Tony, does it give a range or does it say like the average?
There's an average, but it is a range in those averages.
I've rethought my thing too because I'm viewing it through the lens of cattle and then thinking like the phrase, no one's talking about the 800-pound gorilla in the room or like the elephant in the room, I think means it's like a little oversized. So I'm now going to guess like a gorilla would be between.
Did you hear my phone right then?
No, but it was fun.
I don't know why it rings on the computer. It's so annoying.
That's
Also,
okay.
who calls a phone? I'm sorry. Do you want me to just start again? I'm sorry. Or are you just keeping that at this point?
Yeah, I think you should keep it and the sneeze.
Yeah,
keep it all in there.
That's right.
Folks, there's a lot of tech issues in this episode, and you're getting a little taste of 1% of them.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, before you start, Tony, do we have anything to indicate, and don't you play Tony Thaxton, do we have anything to indicate a quiz where we're guessing the weight of gorillas?
Sure. How about this?
Like this is just a penis man. I don't know what that refers
feels
to
right.
at all, but that feels right. Yeah.
It's just
Okay.
one that I've never gotten to play, so I took that advantage.
What was I talking about?
The penises.
What would a
I don't
penis
remember
man
beyond that.
be?
Penis man. Was I saying penis, comma man, or a penis man?
Oh, you know what? I think it was when Dave Damashek was on, and I believe he was saying coxman about something about being a coxman.
Got it.
I'm worried if it's
Sing
like
us.
a big penis, like a man-sized penis, then does he also have a penis, like down where a penis would be?
Right.
Or a little person waving at him.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's reversed.
Yeah.
But then does the person have another little penis on him?
Right.
Penis is on
Infinite.
he is endless
There's a
little
lot going
penis.
on when you start thinking about Penis Man. There's your show.
Sing us a song, you're the penis man.
Okay, Dave, you're up first. Remember, you could receive pastrami from Wendy if you get it right.
If someone,
Oh yeah, I'll send you guys a deli box. Whoever guesses right gets a deli box.
That's great. I like I was saying, cattle, pretty big to be like 1,000 pounds. So I'm picturing something up. That's it. I want to say a gorilla's closer between like 500 pounds and maybe like 650 on the big end. 800 seems like an enormous gorilla.
But are we guessing male and female?
Yeah, you got
gorillas,
to
or
do
just
male
males?
and female.
And then I'll say
Yeah.
females are more like 300 to 400.
You need a number. We're playing a game here.
Oh,
Got to be specific.
Okay, I'll say.
Well, except that I think that, Tony, you only found ranges, right?
yes, that both answers are ranges.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So we're looking for
Sorry.
ranges.
I'm a
Yeah,
real
apology
bust
accepted.
I'm giving
That's
away
okay.
a deli box here. I got to have some rules,
Yeah. Come on, pastrami.
Okay, Wendy, you're next.
Well, I mean, I feel like Dave took my answers, but all right, I'm going to say that a female gorilla is going to go anywhere from 350 to 500, but a male gorilla is going to go like 600 to 800 pounds.
All right,
That's my guess.
I guess I'm up now.
Your guesses are going to overlap with ours, I bet.
I know.
Yeah.
Dave, what did you say for female?
I said female 3 to 4 and male 500 to 650, I think.
Okay. I guess I'm going back on what I said earlier when I said that 800 seems like a pretty decent normal gorilla size, because it wouldn't make sense that they would call themselves that if that was the case. So I'm going to say a female is 3 to 4. Did someone already say that?
Yeah.
Is that what you said?
You can overlap with my guess. It seems like a reasonable guess.
No, I'm going to say 350 to 450.
Oh, okay.
And a male is 650 to 750. Hence, an 800-pound gorilla. What a large gorilla. Except I really feel like a male could be even like up to 1,000, but I'm bad with this stuff. Okay. Tony, are any of us right?
How would he know?
No.
Okay.
No
well,
one's
First of all, I'm a little annoyed at this game because I don't even get a chance to get this deli box.
I know.
But the
Sounds like
answers-
no one's getting it though, so you didn't miss
Nobody's
out on
getting
anything. Mm-mm.
Well, I didn't get a chance to get it. That's what I'm saying. So females weigh from 150 to 200 pounds.
What?
No
That's it?
way. No way.
Like,
The
we could all
males-
share clothes with them? What?
Yeah.
Yeah, like I could hug this gorilla and lift her off her gorilla toes.
Yes.
I would never have guessed I could do that. That seems like a goal in life.
I'm
The
with
smallest gorillas can like wear a size 8, you know?
you. Now, is that like size 8 nowadays, or is that like old-fashioned sizing where it's really more like what we would consider, I think, like a 4 to 6 now?
I don't know, Allison. This is above my pay grade.
Okay. Wow. I'm surprised.
And the adult males weigh an average of 300 to 500 pounds.
Whoa.
Okay.
So pretty big difference between the males and females.
Can I just near everyone an embarrassing admission here? I've never understood women's sizing, old school or new. And if I have to
no
go
one
buy
does.
something, I usually find myself going, she's like this big. I don't know, like that person, something to that effect. That's just terrible. But I don't understand them. They've never made sense to me.
Well, it also changes like brand to brand. Like you could wear a 12 and something and a 16 and something else, or an 8 and a 6 and a 10. Like it doesn't hold up across. If it's stretchy fabric, if it's a designer size, forget it. It's like 4 sizes different than regular humans.
Yep.
So I don't know. It doesn't make any sense.
How does that work then? When you like, usually does the stuff you buy fit?
I mean, I've now having had the same partner for a decade, I have a pretty good idea of I still don't know the size, especially having, recently been pregnant, and there's a lot of like variation in clothing just to begin with there. But prior to that, yeah, it always came back to like about this size of a person, because I feel like I would just always have the size way off, where I was like, oh, you're this size, right? And then it would either be like enormous or you expected me to fit in this? I'm like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't think I know Jeff. Sometimes I buy clothes for Wendy's husband, I guess. I don't even think I know Daniel's sizes. Wendy,
Wow,
do you know?
what's going on? This is how I find out that Allison and Jeff have a side thing.
Well, because I was
thinking about Jeff.
I knew I was going to say, do you know Jeff's sizes? And I just got there faster than.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, it like never changes. And I know Daniel's for when I buy him all that underwear. For when we have sexual encounters. So I'm also doing it, Allison.
Wow, Wendy, but I'm home all the time. How do you do it?
I'm extremely sneaky. Well, have you ever noticed, like, if you ever looked out at your lawn and then, like, you think you're just looking at the grass? But then it's why am I making me laugh? I'm laughing. I'm sorry.
I can't wait to hear about you guys having sex beneath my nose, apparently, but when I'm looking at the lawn.
Hold on.
No. The lawn
you
is how
glance out at your lawn at night.
I don't even know if it's at
the
night.
lawn is how I'm hiding. It's like I look like the grass, and then I stand up, and you realize, oh, there's someone with a full grass suit
I've never noticed
out
that.
there. Oh, well, you would if you were looking at the right time. And then I just creep like this.
So,
In my
like,
But how did you
suit.
guys, affairs are tricky things, but how did you and Daniel work out this plan to be so surreptitious?
He didn't know about it. But I mean, once I had gone so far as to make a full grass suit, it was really awkward if he said no to the affair. And because he was like, why are you here? And I was like, and I was in a grass suit. I don't think he honestly even knew it was me. I think he thought it was some sort of woods sprite or something, but
he has
then
like
it was off and running.
terrible allergies too.
Well, it's not real grass, Allison.
Oh,
It's a synthetic grass I had my costume designer make me.
Your
So that I could lay
costume?
it upon your grass and blend in so you wouldn't see me.
You drive over in the grass costume, or do you put it on in the car and then sort of sneak
I drive
around?
in it. It's really comfortable, actually.
Wow.
Yeah.
That must
So.
get some interesting looks.
Yeah, but I mean, it's LA.
like I'm angry that he cheated on me and that you didn't respect that he's my husband. But I'm
Okay.
also impressed with the innovation. So I can't really maintain my anger.
You have to also be kind of disappointed in yourself for not catching in that time you were like, Daniel, are you talking to the lawn?
Yeah.
And he talked you out of it. Because you were right in hindsight. He was doing just that.
And sometimes I'll catch him just looking out at the lawn with a boner. I'm like,
Yeah. That's
why are you...
He's
why are you so
wondering
excited?
if I'm out there. He doesn't know how to spot me either. It can happen anytime that a shape rises up out of the grass, and it's me. You're to have an affair with your husband.
But what's
No one's husband is safe from me.
what's weird though is that
No, tell me what's weird.
here's the weird part of this otherwise normal story is that
Okay.
because I thought he and I had like a pretty decent thing going. I mean, yes, on the most recent Thursday episode, I shared that sometimes he'll say to me, "What's wrong?" And I find that like really annoying and it makes me very self-conscious. So I provided him some scripts to use in his notes app of his phone when he's wondering if something's wrong with me. I've given him specific wording. So I get that that suggests to people that there might be problems we're having or that I might be, hard to be with. But still, I felt like we were monogamous. But so here's the weird thing. One day, a person-shaped grass being approached him. He didn't know it was you, but he thought, yes, I will have sex with this.
With this.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it all happened because you were buying Jeff clothes. And once I explained that to him, I said, I discovered Allison and Jeff's affair because Allison was buying Jeff clothes out of the blue, needed to know his sizes. And he said, what? And then it just happened. Like neither of us wanted to. It just, once you're that far, once we had discovered you and Jeff, and I was in a grass suit, then what are you going to do,
You're right.
Same old story.
I've seen so many movies about it. You think I wouldn't be surprised when
you
it
shouldn't
happened
be.
when it happened to
Yeah.
me. But you know what was surprising, but not that surprising because I kind of suspected it would happen, but I was delighted when it happened to me. How great Apostrophe skincare worked for my skin and how easy it was to use. We've all had struggles with our skin. That's why we are excited to partner with Apostrophe, the sponsor of this episode. Apostrophe is a prescription skincare company that offers science-backed oral and topical medications that are clinically proven to help clear acne. Apostrophe connects you with a board-certified dermatologist who will create a personalized treatment plan that is perfectly tailored to your unique skin. It's super easy. You fill out a quiz, take 3 pictures, 2 profiles and a straight on one, submit it, and then like very quickly you get an email back saying that your dermatologist has come up with a plan for you. I think I've mentioned before, but I had been very curious about Retin-A. I don't really deal with acne that much anymore, but it's not just acne stuff, that acne medication that they have. They also can help with other skincare goals like reducing redness, wrinkles, and dark spots, things like that. So I had a few dark spots that I wanted to deal with, and I wanted to try Retin-A because I heard it's like this miracle for aging skin and fine lines and things like that. And I thought, now that we're in our homes, this would be a good time to try it. So that is what I have received from Apostrophe. I received a skin bleaching cream. The dark spots are like, you can barely see them. They're pretty much gone, which is miraculous to me. And then I've been using the tretinoin, which is generic Retin-A, and I've gradually gone up in concentration. It's still a pretty low dose. But it it sounds like it's not true, but I swear I have taken stories of myself on Instagram and I've wondered, did I accidentally like put a filter on that because I am glowing? And I hadn't. My skin is it's just a thing that happens with tretinoin, I guess, where there's like a glow. My skin has never looked better. I am now having a little bit of peeling, but that just means like the new me is underneath, you guys. We have a special deal for our audience. Save $15 off your first visit with an Apostrophe provider at apostrophe.com/bestfriend when you use our code BESTFRIEND. This code is only available to our listeners. To get started, just go to apostrophe.com/bestfriend and click begin visit. Then use our code BESTFRIEND at sign up and you'll get your first visit for only $5. That's apostrophe.com/bestfriend and use that code BESTFRIEND to get your dermatologist crafted treatment plan for $5. And we thank Apostrophe for sponsoring the podcast. I also want to tell you guys about Switchcraft. Switchcraft is this super fun game that I was playing on my phone earlier. I don't play a ton of phone games, but I always think like I would, when I watch other people play them, I would like to get into one of them. I don't know my way around that much. But Switchcraft is so much fun. I actually can't wait to get back to it. It's a match 3 game, but they use the match 3 game part of it in this really creative way. So it's got a whole a TV worthy plot. It's about witches that go to, I believe it is called Pendle Hill Academy. And so there's a whole story there with that. And then as you go to the next level, each level, there's this, there's a match 3 game that you do, and that unlocks things. And clearly I should write essays about this. I can explain it so well, but I'm just saying it's really good graphics, really good writing, very engrossing. It's beautiful, magical. It's a beautiful, magical, and gripping graphic novel that also has fun match 3 stuff. In Switchcraft, you take on the role of a witch at Pendle Hill, the world's top academy of witchcraft. Play your way through hundreds of enchanting match 3 levels, revealing a dark and winding mystery story. I can't wait to get back to it. Along the way, you'll find unique characters, a gripping story, and even a little romance. The best part is that your choices in the game determine the outcome of the story, so you're in the driver's seat. Oh yeah, there's also a choose-your-own-adventure aspect of it. Download Switchcraft for free and unlock the magical mystery. Again, download Switchcraft for free and unlock the magical mystery. Okay, we're back. I think it might be time to say hello and welcome to my new patrons.
Allison wants to say thank you to a couple of special people out there who signed up to be new patrons. Patreon.com/Allison Rosen.
I'd like to say hello and welcome and thank you to Nancy, who signed up for an annual subscription, Jared Menendez, who was a patron, a friend with benefits, and then he wasn't, and now he's back, and I'm excited that he's back, to Jerry Borger, and then to Ryan Scadlock, who signed up for an annual subscription as well. Thank you and welcome. Would it be too much to ask that we get a potential song from our composers? If you want to work in a Halloween thing, that's fine. No pressure, though. So again, I'm just going to tell you the names.
Hold on, I gotta write it down. Allison,
Okay,
because my brain doesn't work anymore.
Can you put them in the chat?
I sure can. Here we go.
And what if I just start him off with a simple melody and then Wendy comes in
Oh, no.
and then it gets windified.
I mean, that sounds great to me.
I mean, we can't tell the artists how to do their job.
Yeah. Thank you, Tony, for reminding me.
Nancy, 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 I can't let you go. You've joined up annually to support the show. Jared Menendez, that's a name I'm sure you know. Lyle and Eric made your life challenging a long time ago.
Oh, no.
So sorry to bring that up. And now I'll be leaving and handing the reins of the song over to Wendy.
And this is when it gets spooky because Jerry Borger, everyone says 10 years ago today, he became a Patreon and then disappeared on a highway out of town. So why is he a Patreon now when everyone says no one's seen Jerry for 10 long years? And Ryan Scadlock, it's also a spooky story. He wanted to make a man. And so he and his friend, Ryan Frankenstein, went up to their castle and they dug up a body and they put it on the roof and then they made it get zapped by lightning and then it became a man. And that person was also a Patreon, and we'll announce that name next week. That was my worst song ever.
There's no such thing as
And
a
spooky.
yeah.
so
Ooh. No such thing as a bad song. I loved it. Again, remember, sign up for a year, get 2 months free, 12 months for the price of 10. Okay,
That's a good deal.
I have a question for you guys, and then we're going to do some just me or everyone. But here's my question, because I know. Oh, wait, but I also need to hear about how Tony's trip was. But here's my question, because I know that you guys are very COVID safe. Would you take one of your unvaccinated children to see a movie right now? If you could go in the day when you don't think it would be crowded?
I took here's what we did was there's a thing at the Burbank AMC. This is going to sound like an ad for the Burbank AMC where you can rent the whole theater with some friends and go only with the vaccinated people. Or like in our case, we went to see Shang-Chi, the new Marvel movie, with friends and kids that he's already in school with. So they're already indoors masked together. So they've already sort of taken that risk.
Right.
And the price that you can rent the theater for, then if you divide that among like 20 people, it's like cheaper than a movie ticket.
Wow.
For the entire theater. So if you can get a few families who want to go, I mean, our family alone is 6 people, that you can go with. And then we did that too with a group of adults to go see Free Guy. And it was really fun. And everyone wore their masks and it felt reasonably safe. However, we have not gone to like a general admission theater because I feel like the vaccines are so close now that I'm like, we'll just wait.
Yeah.
So, but we did do the theater rental thing and it was really fun. And I'm like, we should do that in the regular world too. Like you could go with a bunch of friends and it's winds up being cheaper than a movie ticket.
Right.
Rental theater.
We went to Hauntoween. Do you guys know what that is? It's in Woodland Hills. It's like a, I felt that it was overpriced and not that great. So this is not an ad for Hauntoween. But it's like a little town that you walk. There's this town of Hauntoween that you walk through, and it's all outdoors, and the kids can trick or treat from people dressed in costume and stuff. But anyway, it was like brought to you by Addams Family too, and so Elliot is. Maybe all 4-year-olds are easy marks for advertising, but he is like not nonstop Addams Family ever since then. So he really wants to see Addams Family too. So maybe I'll look into this renting a theater thing. Do you have to know someone, or is it like this?
No,
is a thing?
it's literally on their website.
Yeah, I've been hearing about it for a while.
I never knew. Is this what Kevin Porter does when he and like 45 of his best friends go see Paddington?
I don't know if it was happening back then. I think it's been a COVID thing.
I see. Interesting.
Oh, maybe they just introduced it for COVID, and I only think you can do it in the regular world.
Yeah, as far as I know, I don't know for sure that I'm right, but that's the impression I'm under. Yeah.
Did it seem aside from your theater that was just people who were part of this group outing, did the theater in general seem crowded?
No. And we tried to do the first showing of the day, so we were the first people really breathing in there.
Right.
So and that's at 12:30 or something. They don't have early morning shows. So it worked out for the 2 movies that we went to see. And it was pretty fun. Both times we had a good time.
Yeah.
I mean, it didn't feel nerve-wracking because, I'm vaccinated, but it didn't feel really nerve-wracking for the kids at all because they're all in school together already.
Right.
And they wore their masks. So it seemed fine.
I feel like cases are so low in California or at least in LA right now that I keep thinking, I don't know anymore what is safe and what's not. We've been acting we're still kind of conducting our lives we're not eating indoors. We're trying to avoid time spent indoors, but I don't know that it's really necessary anymore. But like you, Wendy, I feel like the vaccines for kids are so close, may as well hold it out. What do you think, Dave?
Yeah, I think that if it seems so weird that we keep talking about when the vaccines for kids will get here, but with no definitive oh, sweet, the countdown starts. It's always just kind of on the horizon. Should be any day now. Should be in a few months.
Yeah.
So that gets so weird. You're like, is this going to happen? Because I think that would really change things.
But I feel like I read something today saying the approval of the Pfizer vaccine for 5 to 11. I don't know what I read though about it. This week?
This week. Yeah, probably this week. So
That's
they'll be getting vaccinated next week. But I mean, it does take a while for it to kick in and stuff. Yeah. But and then I tried to sign my 2-year-old up for a Moderna trial.
Oh yeah?
But we'll see. Yeah. But I've done it before. Once I sent it through, I saw I had gotten the other text from this number. Clearly I have tried this before. But maybe this time will be the charm. Because I was thinking if I could get him vaccinated early, that would be great.
Right. Yeah, because 5 to 11 doesn't cover my guys. Yeah. So what are your thoughts, Dave?
On
safety of taking an unvaxxed kid to a theater, or how are you living your life right now? Because full disclosure, back in the in-person days, you were the one who was it's getting pretty bad again, guys. and I was like, no, I'm doing in-person stuff again. And then it did get bad again.
Yeah, I try to I have to remind myself now, which is kind of nice because you're checking the stuff, the daily case rates or whatever all the time. And now I'll be, it's been a few days or even a couple weeks since I checked. And you look in and see where the curve's at or the case numbers.
That's thing after you've broken up with someone and you are thinking of them every day and you're like, wait, I didn't cry today.
Yeah, but then you can also have I don't know, a fallback in thing or something where you you relapse a little bit. And so I always want to be, especially because advertising is that was a crazy year, but then you look at it and the deaths nationwide are still happening. We're not out of it.
No.
And my friend Carl Hess did a tweet. They got a bunch of action that was we'll just normalize this, drunk driving and opioid addiction and suicide and it's mass shootings. This will just be another thing which we kind of did with the flu going all the way back 100 years. We still lose so many people yearly to the flu and we're just they were old. So I want to be ultra aware of this. And we made it this far into it. Our mode is just being obscenely safe because I just want to, if our child has some trouble breathing when they are, a teenager, I'll be like, well, it's not COVID related. I just don't want to have that conversation of I can't play sports, I can't breathe. And me being yeah, I had to go to this concert and I slipped up and I'm sorry, you got it. We didn't know what the long-term effects were going to be. That's my whole goal is to avoid that. So we're still ultra safe.
Okay. So then you would not take Elliot to Addams Family too.
I don't know, because he's out doing stuff, right? I mean,
he goes to school.
Yeah, I mean, it seems the same, really. Probably not going to be sitting right next to anyone. The air circulated pretty well.
He goes to... Sorry, go ahead.
No, good.
He goes to school, but it's not a huge school, and they do mandatory testing at the school every week, and I mean, it's a preschool.
Mm-hmm.
But beyond that, he's not out and about.
Is he decent with keeping his mask on his face?
He is, yeah. My 2-year-old is not great with it, but Elliot is good.
Yeah, that doesn't seem like a high-risk thing.
Yeah. I think the thing that would make me nervous is if we get to the theater and all of a sudden it is crowded or it starts filling up while we're there. And then I would have to, that would just break his heart for us to have to leave. And so I'd have to talk about that with him. He's never been to a movie, and he told me that he wanted to go to a proper, he says theater, a proper theater. And I think he got that from Peppa Pig. He also wants to eat snacks at the theater, though. So then that's a mask question. Anyway.
Would it create some problems at home if he got to go, but Owen didn't? Would there be some...
And Owen is not quite aware yet. He's not smart enough to know. He's not old enough to know. I don't think he would be aware of that. So I think that would be okay. Tony, how was your show? How was your tour? I imagine all of this sounds crazy to you since you're pretty much living your life and it's going well for you.
Yeah, I'm trying to, but being smart about it all. Yeah, it was just the 2 shows in Chicago, super fun. I love Chicago in general, and shows in Chicago, audiences in Chicago are always the best. They were always the best for Motion City. That was kind of the first city to ever kind of accept us, I feel like, early on. And then now this was our first time going with Don't Stop or We'll Die. And it did not let me down at all. There's something about those audiences that are just really fun and just kind of rowdy and just ready to have a lot of fun. And they were, just fun and singing along to everything, and which is impossible to not laugh about because these songs are so ridiculous. And it's how do you? I can't not laugh when I hear a room of 300 people yell, "I've been trying to fuck that frog all summer."
I can't stop laughing at that song.
So it was just the best. It literally felt like playing a party to 300 people. It was so much fun.
That's so cool.
Yeah. Oh, and I met there was at least one. Was there more than one? At least one fan of the show that came up and said hello.
Oh, nice.
There might have been a couple. I can't remember. I also had mini beers. So it was, I know at least one. I believe her name was Lauren, I think.
Lauren.
Sorry if I got that wrong, listener.
Well, that's nice. Yes. Okay. So Lily Pad, it's called Lily Pad, right? That song. This is, I cannot stop laughing at this song.
I believe. Yeah. It's the full title.
Yeah. And the lyrics are lily pad on my doorstep. No, I'm not going to do the whole, I'm going to mess them up, but it's about he discovers a lily pad on his doorstep. His wife is having an affair with a frog. And then he's like, I'm not mad. I'm just proud. I've been trying to fuck that frog all summer.
And when it gets to that line live, we stop right there and just let the crowd do it. And it cracks me up.
How fun.
And there's several moments. And then we do the taco night song and just everybody's singing along to that. I posted a video of that one today. If anyone wants to check that out. It's just the stupidest time. And I mean that in the best way possible. I mean stupid as a compliment in this case. It's the best. Those guys are just, the nicest and the funniest. And then, it was with the Sloppy Boys as well, who are also the nicest and the funniest. And it was just a very whirlwind trip. Flew out Thursday morning, came back Saturday morning, played those 2 shows. And that was it. But it was great.
Nice. Let's do some Just Me or Everyone.
Sometimes I wonder on something
Spooky.
Is it just me or everyone?
All right. Ooh, look, here's one from me. Lately, I have trouble with I or Y in happiness, prickliness, etc. Yeah, anytime I'm taking an adjective and making it a noun with the ines, I'm like, is it a Y or is it an I? Are there any? Does anyone else have trouble with this? Are there any of them that have a Y?
That's what I was going to ask. I can't think of any.
Unruliness probably has a Y.
I don't think
I think it might be an I.
No?
You're probably right.
Pride myself on my spelling, but it could be wrong.
Let's see.
I'm going to look it up. Now I'm worried.
I'm on it. It is an I.
Okay.
It is an I.
It is?
It is.
Is that the rule? Maybe it's that movie Happiness with a Y that's throwing me off.
Yeah, that's the only thing I could think of.
I mean, if it's a rule, then I can stop thinking about it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I have this problem. No. I think I'd naturally go for the I.
What about his furriness?
I think that's also an I.
Snappiness? Snazziness, that's an I. Maybe it's always an I.
The one for me is adding able to the end of things, because sometimes you keep the E and sometimes you don't.
Right.
I have that sometimes, yeah.
That one's that for me.
Like, what's an example?
Like
Refrigerable?
lovable, you get rid of the E.
What
but
word?
Then lovable.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Lovable, no E. But then I think, like, I don't even know if it's a word, but shoeable. Like, that horse is shoeable. So you'd keep the E there.
Right.
And then that's probably a bad example. But there are for sure other ones where you keep the E, and I'm just kind of blanking on them.
I know, I can't think of any either, but yeah, I agree. There are some.
Yeah.
Are there horses that are unshoeable?
Removable, I think you'd lose the E. There are definitely horses that are unshoeable, yeah.
Why?
Sometimes they have some trauma, when they're younger, and then they just don't let you touch their feet. If they had like a bad cut or something where a vet had to come, or someone had to come and like take bandages on and off every day. Sometimes as they get older, they're like, don't touch my foot. I hate it. I've lifted it up every day. Now I won't do it anymore. That'll happen. I worked with this guy one time. We got called by Barnum and Bailey, and we went and we're like shoeing. They had draft horses and horses that like Pasafinos that kind of like do these fancy trotting things. And so we worked on like 25 horses in one day. It was grueling. But then we looked over and there's a pen full of zebras. And we're like, do you want us to trim up the zebras? And they were like, oh, you can't. They're no matter how long you've had them, they like refuse to be domesticated. You can't touch their feet. And I kind of like that about zebras. Like, you can keep me in this cage. Don't touch my fucking feet. I'll never allow it.
Yeah. And if a horse doesn't have shoes on, then what happens?
Mustangs don't have shoes. So like if they're moving, we domesticate them so we have them stand around so their feet get all long, and then that's really unhealthy for them. So we've kind of manifested this thing where we need to like treat their feet a certain way. If they're just out in the open moving all the time, they'll naturally slough off, I guess is the word. They'll round over really nicely. They'll be like just perfect nails, but we keep them in pens so they just grow and grow.
So do the shoes prevent the hooves from growing, or do they protect them, or both?
They protect them. And in fact, like, women that, or men, people that have, any humans that have long nails that break them off. Oh, I broke a nail. I always thought it'd be kind of cool if you had a thing that looked like a pickaxe. It's tiny. You could almost make it out of like a paper clip, and it would run along the line of your nail and glue on, but then go around the front of it too, so that you'd have some reinforcement there. And that's essentially what a horseshoe is. It just allows them to, it like grows out with the foot so that it doesn't chip or crack. Like these quarter cracks that are pretty nasty. But yeah, you pull the shoe off and trim it back and then put a shoe back on. So it'd be the equivalent of like taking your shoe off, trimming your toenails, putting your shoe back on.
I was tweeting, Wendy, I feel like you chimed in too about refusing to trim my toenails at the beginning of the pandemic. So I'm like, let's see how crazy it can get. Does this ring any bells?
Did I chime in? I don't know. I did practice a lot of, and continue to, extremely poor personal hygiene during the pandemic.
Yeah. At
Very poor.
Yeah. I was just like, I just want to see how far I can go with this. But then I don't know. At this point, we're so many months into it. I mean, I do have polish on my toenails now. It's looking pretty rough. It's been a while. But I guess at some point, though, I remember it's because we were going to do a pool date at your house. But then we had our COVID scare, so we didn't go.
Right.
But I was like, I gotta put shoes on this horse. So I
Just go, girl.
I polished my toenails. That's the last time I've done anything down there.
During all this, what do you
Yeah.
think the longest gap is in bathing? Like an actual bath or shower for yourself has been?
I bet it was like 5 days accidentally, where I didn't realize it'd been that long, but it
Yeah.
was. I think though it was probably 4. 5 would be like if I really don't remember that, but definitely 4. 4 happened.
Another thing, this is another just me or everyone. When someone says like every 2 days or I have trouble like, okay, so every 2 days would mean every other day, right? So I've definitely gone 3 days then, because I know I've thought like, oh wow, this is now 2 nights that I've slept in my bed and I haven't taken a shower, but I don't think I've gone beyond that.
Oh, I have.
You know what my answer is.
Yeah, I know you
Every day.
every single
24
day.
hours. Max.
I mean, I respect it, but it's not my life, you know?
No.
Hey, I'm not trying to make it your life.
I know.
You
I
haven't
know.
gotten to experience the joy of like, oh, no, oh wait, it's Zoom. No one can smell me through Zoom. Here we go. It's a freeing feeling. It's wonderful.
It really is.
Yeah, it is. I don't like it. I don't like it.
What if you're okay, Tony? You with all your like whirlwind traveling and stuff. Are you still showering every single morning?
No,
you
'cause
never
that kind of becomes impossible on tour, and I really don't like it because it really like it's part of my whole thing in the morning, and it kind of like is part of like my. It's almost like additional coffee for me. Like it kind of helps wake me up a little bit. So yeah, I really hate that I can't take a shower first thing in the morning on tour.
Have you ever on tour pulled a Wendy and not bathed for 8 to 12 days?
That's not what I said.
That's what I heard.
There's definitely been like stretches. I couldn't tell you how long, but there's definitely been times when maybe a few days have gone by that because it's just sometimes there's just not an option because you're traveling on a bus. We've had buses with showers, but it's rare. And then sometimes the venue doesn't have a shower, and we're not staying at hotels unless it's a day off. So yeah, sometimes it's just not possible.
Dave, what about you?
The longest I've gone?
Yeah.
During this or in my life?
Well, you're the one who asked the question, and which which one were you asking?
I just wanted to judge everyone else. No, yeah, probably like for sure. I think a week. I bet I've gone like 7 days, and at one point I really but I'm not doing anything, so I feel like I'm not like sweating a ton or really anything that would make me be like a hideous person to be around. If I started to notice like that can't smell good, or like the hair is a pretty good tell, or like that's getting
I don't care for that.
a little rough, then I would clean up. But I'm always fascinated. Like we're like one of the few creatures that does like bathe ourselves, and we're just removing all of these bacterial cultures that might be beneficial to our skin oils and all these things. So I kind of enjoyed it, like testing it. I don't know that I noticed any. I don't know that like 6 or 7 days is that beneficial. I wanted to get to like 30, but that seems. I don't think you can be in society and do that.
I will say I shower
that's-
every day, but I very rarely wash my hair.
Mm-hmm. We have lovely hair.
Thank you.
What, so you just rinse it,
Yeah.
or do you not even do that?
No, I rinse it. I always rinse it. But yeah, I very rarely wash it.
And then when you wash it, is it like do you have dedicated shampoo, or is it like one of those 3-in-1 things? What kind of?
I use shampoo. I started using some tea tree shampoo because I was having some dandruff issues for a while, and that actually seems like it's gotten a lot better. But yeah, I don't even really do it that much, so I don't know.
Now, Wendy knows this from her relations with my husband, but Daniel will periodically, he'll be like, I haven't taken a shower in like 4 days. I'm like, what?
He doesn't say that to me. I never ask him. It's really hard to talk through the grass suit, so it's just purely physical, you know?
I guess
Not
that
a lot
makes
of talking.
I guess that makes me feel better. It's not an emotional affair. It's just physical.
Not for me anyway.
For me,
Cool
It's
as
just purely
fuck.
revenge.
because I bought clothes for Jeff and also had an affair with him.
Yeah, so it's just revenge.
For me, the thing that begins to happen where I'm like, I have to take a shower, is now, even though I don't think like my calves have been exposed to air in many years, but I do shave my legs religiously. I don't really know why, but I do. And so then if I begin to feel not smooth there, then I just feel gross. What internalized patriarchy, misogyny.
Well, you guys all know I hate all forms of taking care of myself. So I'm not even speaking because it's nothing for me to say.
And yet you look so beautiful and put together.
No.
There
See,
you
I
go.
did it.
There you
I
go.
Full circle. I can't. I know I should be able to accept a compliment, but I don't know. I'm not trying to be annoying. Like I said, I don't know. There's something in me where I can't. And I don't think it's good. I just am not.
I kind
don't
of
know,
do the same
just-
thing. I get
Yes, it's not endemic to my person. So, but yeah, I hate all forms of showering, painting nails, getting hair done. Like, I just don't like any of it. I just would be perfectly fine never to do any of it ever again. But I have to.
When you see someone that has just let it go and they're always older and it feels like, oh, that person just kind of, with men, it's always like, oh, they're like a curmudgeon. That person, they're at the store and they look the different socks and their shirts all ripped up, or they have like burlap just over their shoulders or something. And people will be like, oh yeah, that person just lost touch with things. But I feel like I've always been that way. And I think when you're younger, you just have more people bothering you about it, being like, oh, come on, you can't wear that. And I'll be like, oh, all right, if you insist, society. But given my own druthers, I would just be just disgusting out in public because I do hate it. I think it's absurd. We have to curate ourselves to be presentable to the public. It's ridiculous.
Well, I occasionally, I put on some regular clothes today and stuff. Like occasionally I like it, but I don't like for me, when I see women who are really done up and always and I'm not judging. It's just it's a motivation I don't have. They probably don't want to do what I'm doing, but I'm I just don't have the motivation for it. All these trappings and stuff. I don't know why it doesn't. But then I found out recently that my niece is the same way. And I was like, aha, it's just genetic. Because my sister said that one of her daughters loves to get her nails done, shower, get dressed, all that stuff. And her other daughter hates showering, me. Doesn't want to go get the nails done, me, all these things. And I was like, it's just genetic. That's all it is. I got those genes. And my sister, that is the mom of these two daughters, she loves to do all that stuff. She's always dressed well. She takes great care of her makeup and all of these things, but she kind of likes it. I don't think she's doing it for anyone else. She likes to do it. And I'm like, I just don't like to. I don't know why. It's just I am getting my hair done this weekend and I'm just like, I would literally rather do anything else, but I realize that I start to look like a crazy crone and that I should probably just get it done. But I don't want to.
It is weird how when some gray shows, I feel like that not as much in the pandemic, but that almost telegraphs that thing you're talking about where it's pretty soon I'll be draped in burlap or whatever. Cause I have some gray showing. I think I pull it off, but still, I worry that I don't know why I said I think I pull it off. I guess what I mean to say is it hasn't bothered me enough to go do anything about it, but it's weird that feels somehow transgressive.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I like when my hair is blonde again. It's just, I hate the process.
Yeah.
I like being clean after a shower. I don't want to shower. If that makes any sense.
It totally makes sense.
I'm fine with being clean. I just I would literally spend that 20 minutes doing something else, even just laying there.
I think when I was a
Would
kid,
be better.
I don't know if it's the genetic thing, but I think when I was a kid, I cared a little more. And then just as I got older and the routine of it just wore on me where I was like, who cares? And in Big Nothingness, you can kind of see both of that because like the long-haired version of me is in it, and then me like as done up as I can get with like a haircut and a suit, like a 3-piece suit. And of course, everyone after like many more compliments about the 3-piece suit, and like people respond to that, and they are more inclined to give compliments. And I would say that like the worst part about it was if I see photos from that period where I had the really long hair and I'm clean shaven, it is such an unsettling look. And that the only reason I did it is to feel like I was trying, so that people would be like, oh, come on, man, you can't have like scraggly ass facial hair and that ridiculous drifter hair. But it's such a more aesthetically pleasant look than like, I'm normal. I have a clean shaven face and this sideshow bob hair. I'm fine. It's just so creepy now. And I look at it, I'm like, why did I listen to anyone? I should have just been in burlap with my long hair and a little facial hair to balance it out, because it's so creepy. So you've either got to commit to it all the way like a 3-piece suit or go full burlap. I think the in-between is just the worst.
I have that why did I listen to anyone about a lot of things in my life. The way you feel about grooming, Wendy, is how I feel about shopping for clothing. Like I never want to go to a store and try on things. I never like that whole thing that brings joy to so many people I don't share in the joy of that. And I just regard it as like a chore, and I don't want to do it. And I do feel better when I have clothes that I feel good in. Like I always do feel better, but to get to that point, I have trouble making myself do it.
Yeah, I don't like that either.
No. And you know what else? And I'm sure that you have experienced this. When you were young and going somewhere, would you have a thing where like a girlfriend would be like, why don't you come over and we can get ready together?
Mm-hmm.
And I never really wanted to.
No, I didn't either. I didn't want to go over, and I didn't want to get ready together.
Yeah. It's a whole rite of passage, I guess. I don't
really
think I ever did
is.
it. But to me, what that meant was like, let's wear skimpy dresses and put on a lot of makeup together.
Yeah, I guess so.
I don't have the dresses for it. You guys, this was so much fun. I want to remind everyone, I'm on Patreon. Patreon.com/Allison Rosen. Also, if you like what you're hearing, please leave us a nice comment on Apple Podcasts. Click 5 stars. I periodically read them on the show, and it's been a little while, so I'm going to read some of them again soon. So get those comments in, and it just helps people find the show. It's just a nice way to support the show. So thank you so much for all of your comments. Make sure you're subscribed or following or whatever they call it in your app of choice so that you get the episodes automatically. Greg Heller was the Monday show guest. If you haven't listened to that, go check that out. And follow me on social media at Allison Rosen on Twitter and Instagram. Wendy, where can we find you? What should we look for?
I'm just at Wendy Molyneux on Twitter, and I do have a public Instagram that I neglect, and it's at Great North Wendy. And you can watch Bob's Burgers and The Great North, the 2 shows that I write for, on Fox on Sundays at 8:30 is Great North and 9 is Bob's Burgers. And then both of those are available on Hulu the next day. And all 18 episodes so far of The Great North are now available to binge on Hulu.
Love that. And Paul Rust of the aforementioned Frog song, A Voice on Great North. Love it.
Synergy.
Dave, what about you?
I am at davidhuntsberger.com, which is where you can find links to Big Nothingness. It's on YouTube and Vimeo, but there are links right from my website. And I'm back to doing episodes of The Space Cave, which is my podcast where I chat with scientists and artists and people I find interesting, just about life and things like that. It's very mellow. It's not chaotic or like, I don't know. If you need a little relaxation in your life, it might be something like that. And that's it. So davidhuntsberger.com.
Do you feel this show is chaotic? What with Wendy threatening to walk off because we're talking about cards?
Yeah, me getting all upset about the pronunciation of Nevada and things like that.
Oh, yes, Nevaditude.
Yeah, Nevada Day coming up. For me, it's always on Halloween. They changed it to like the final Friday, but it's always the 31st to me. And happy Nevada Day out there, everybody. Home means Nevada, home means the hills, home means the sage and the pine. Out where the trucky silvery rills, out where the sun always shines, shines.
So the passion really comes through. Singing your heart out. Tony, what about you? Oh, wait a minute. Wendy and Dave have a podcast, and you guys neglected to mention it.
Both of us were ashamed of it this week. Neither of us said it.
It's called These Are Those Tapes.
And
if
from this very show.
Here, I'll do the plug for it. It's called These Are Those Tapes. It's not a bit. Some people hear it and think it's a bit. It really exists. There's real episodes. And if you enjoy Wendy and Dave's improv bits that they do on this show, you'll love that show. So go check it out wherever you get podcasts. These Are Those Tapes. Is that right?
Thank you, Allison. That was a much better sales job than either of us ever does.
Yeah, I'm going to carve that out as an MP3 and start shopping it around to podcasts.
Yeah.
Do it.
Honestly, yes.
Tony, what about you?
I'm on Twitter and Instagram at
Tony Thaxton.
and my podcast, Bizarre Albums, every Tuesday. That also has a Patreon. I didn't mention it enough. Patreon.com/Bizarre Albums. So, hey, throw in $1, even if you think, why not $1?
Even if you hate it, give it $1.
Yeah, come on, you can spare $1.
Thank you so much, you guys. This was so much fun. Everyone, have a happy and safe Halloween. We didn't even talk about what we're going to be dressed as. I mean, I did, but no one else did. So we'll just have to catch up on that next time. Thank you so much for listening. You matter. I love you. Goodbye.
Hey, do you know about the Allison Rosen show?